Well, hello everyone. My name is Rev Muller. I'm a priest of the Diocese of Maitland-Newcastle. My current role is that of Diocesan Chancellor and Canonical Advisor, and I've been asked to give you this short presentation on some of the canonical aspects of our Diocesan Synod. I've got my notes in front of me, so every now and again when I look down, please forgive me for that, but I can't quite remember all of it to talk to you about. The first point I'd like to mention is that canon law follows theology, and I think one of the best places to start for this when we're talking about synods is a couple of points that Pope John Paul II made. These are in the document at the beginning of the third millennium, which he wrote to bishops, clergy and lay faithful at the close of the Great Jubilee in the year 2000. And if you type all that into any search engine, you should be able to find the document on the Vatican website. So Pope John Paul actively encouraged all communities to plan pastorally as a practical way to move and to be more effective in our evangelisation in the third millennium. And I'd just like to read you a couple of lines of a quote from paragraph 29 of that document. This is what he says. "It's not therefore a matter of inventing a new program, for the program already exists. It is the plan found in the gospel and in the living tradition of the Church. It is the same as ever. Ultimately, it has as its centre Christ himself, who is known, loved and to be imitated, so that in him we may live the life of the Trinity and thus transform history until its fulfilment in the heavenly Jerusalem." He continues, "This is a program which does not change with the shifts of time and culture, even though it takes account of time and culture for the sake of true dialogue and effective communication." So what the Pope is saying is that our pastoral plan is not a universal one-size-fits-all, but rather a plan that is focused on the lived experience of each community, and in our case, this diocese. And he continues to say that it is in the local church, the diocese, that the specific features of a detailed pastoral plan can be identified, the goals, the method, the formation, the enrichment of the people involved, and the search for resources to support them in this endeavour, which will enable the proclamation of Christ to reach people, mould communities, and have a deep and incisive influence in bringing the gospel to all. So I think that is one of the main contexts in which the canonical aspects of the Synod should be seen. The second document that helps us understand, from my perspective, the canonical nature of a diocesan synod can be found in the Directory for the Pastoral Ministry of the Bishop. And once again, you can search for that in your search engine and you'll find it on the Vatican website. And under the heading, The Structures of Participation, the document makes 2 points. It talks about these structures of participation, of which the Diocesan Synod is one. And while the point it's making in paragraph 165 is about all diocesan councils, it also applies to the Synod. And the main points, if I can summarise them quickly, is that everyone in the diocese, by virtue of their baptism, has a duty and a call to collaborate and cooperate in these endeavours. The bishops also has a responsibility to make sure that all the canonical structures work and are effective in delivering whatever plan comes out of this process. And these structures, like the Synod, should generate a community, reciprocal interplay between all members of the faithful, and no matter who or what role they have. It's important to remember that the Synod is not a parliamentary democracy, it's consultative rather than deliberative, but saying that, it should lead people to have a unified experience of a diocese. The second aspect that this document talks about from a Synod's point of view is in paragraph 166 and following. What is the Synod about? What is it meant to address? So things like, how do we take on board what the Universal Church says and apply it to our diocese? What application or adaptation of laws and that should we undertake? What methods should we adopt to do those apostolic works? What are the difficulties we face in doing this and how might we overcome them? And any other things that might assist us in being more effective at proclaiming the gospel. The outcome that we want is, how do we communicate the message of Jesus in today's societies? So the Code of Canon Law also talks very quickly about Synod. It's got 8 canons, 460 to 468. But the main document that is of relevance to all of us is the 1997 Instruction on Diocesan Synods, put out by the Congregation for Bishops and the Congregation for Evangelisation of Peoples. Once again, it's on the Vatican website, so you can Google it and read it. It's a very broad document, and an instruction is there to try and unpack those half a dozen canons and put some practical application to them. And each diocese in its own way is meant to take that instruction and transform it into an instruction that is useful for our own diocesan synod. Our Diocesan Synod Working Party has done that, and that instruction is on our diocesan website, in the Synod section of the diocesan website. And as you would know from that document, there are a number of phases that are in the Synod process. The preparation, which has been going on for some time now in conjunction with the plenary, the celebration of the Synod, the opening and closing, the masses and all that type of stuff. There's also the content which people have fed in through the plenary council, our own discussions in this diocese. And then after the Synod, or this session of the Synod, we have to sit down and take all those recommendations, those thoughts, those contributions, and draft them into a final document for the third session of the Synod. And I suppose in my mind that's where the rubber hits the road from a canonical point of view, because there's certain standards that statutes or the pastoral aims or whatever they're called will need to meet canonically for them to be able to be executed as we move forward. The bishop is the one who then says, yep, that's it, puts his rubber stamp on it all. And just for your own information, copies go to the metropolitan bishops to make sure that we're all sort of working together in Australia. It goes over to the Congregation for Bishops and the Congregation for the Evangelisation of Peoples in Rome. So I hope this short talk presentation has assisted in understanding some of the canonical aspects of the Diocesan Synod and the theological background on which they sit. And you can find me on the diocesan website if you'd like to ask any questions or have any further follow-up. I wish you a great day and see you in Synod. Bye.